So, you're thinking of moving to the Austin area. Well, in today's video, we are going to talk about the Austin market and what is going on right now. So, let's go. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. It's Dominique here, and today we're talking about Austin statistics. Things have changed so much over the last few years, so I like to give y'all an update every month or so just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on in the housing market. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope you enjoyed spring break. I'm actually getting back into the swing of things. We went to New Mexico for spring break and we had a wonderful time. We got to see snow. We went to Meow Wolf. So many fun things. But obviously it's great to be home. So anyway, let's get into the statistics on what's going on. So we're looking at, I have my notes right here as always, just to kind of help me. I can't remember all this stuff. Okay guys, I've got my notes. Let's start with months of inventory in Austin. We're at 4 months of inventory in February versus 3.9 in January. So very similar. And of course, as I mentioned in previous videos, a balanced market is considered about 6 months of inventory. So, we're not quite there yet, but as I mentioned in previous videos, things definitely slowed down last year, starting in April. Going into fall and winter is typically a slower time, but it definitely slowed down a lot more than we're used to in that season. But things have been picking up. I've definitely seen that. So one of the important things when we're looking at these statistics is, we're looking year over year. We definitely look at year over year, but last March was still a very strong market. So when we're looking year over year, it's going to be really interesting to see how April does. Because there was that big drop in April, I wonder how this year is going to compare. We'll see. We're not seeing, crazy multiple offers like we did in 2022, 2021, even 2020, but we have been seeing more multiple offer situations, like 2 and 3 offers on certain homes. And of course, the closer that you are to central Austin, the more of a demand that there is. The further out you get into the suburbs, especially if you're in, a neighborhood where maybe there's new construction nearby, or there's, maybe you've moved into a new construction community and there's other homes that are still being built, things like that. There's more competition there because the builders are able to offer a lot to buyers right now, or they're offering a lot to buyers because they want to get rid of the inventory that they still have on hand. Anyhow, so that's where we're at with months of inventory. Average days to sell increased to 72 in the metro area, so Austin and the surrounding cities. The city of Austin saw an increase to 70 days from 25 in 2022. So, we're still definitely not where we were at the height of the market last year. Like I said, we'll see how things go in February, because I feel like that'll be a true test of, give us a better idea of what 2023 is going to look like as compared to 2022, where we saw the big increase in interest rates and how that affected the market. I feel at this time, a lot of buyers, have given it time. They've kind of sat on the sidelines, kind of seeing, what's going on with the interest rates, and many have realized, okay, it is what it is and we still need to move. So let's jump on it. And buyers are jumping back into the market. Let's see, average sold price in the metro declined by 4.4% month over month compared to January of 2023. Interest rates climbed in February and finished the month approaching 7%. So interest rates have been really volatile. They've still been changing a lot. We saw them several weeks ago drop to like 5.8, and then they quickly jumped back up to 6.5 and then 6.8. And then they dropped again like a week or so ago. So, they're still changing very frequently. I'm keeping in touch with all of my lenders that we work with to see what's going on. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. There do seem to be some things that indicate that the interest rates will be coming down. So we will see. One of the things to keep in mind though, it is exciting, as a buyer, if you think, oh, the interest rates are gonna go down, but is that gonna mean that there's way more competition for you because more buyers are gonna come into the market? So I think some people have an idea of like, oh, maybe I missed out on those low interest rates, but people were also paying more for the house because they were having to compete with other buyers. So right now it's nice that you don't have to compete with as many buyers. You know, if you're competing with 2 or 3, that's hard enough, much less, you know, 10, 20 offers. I mean, when it was really crazy, we saw some that had 30 offers. You know, you have to think about that. You know, would you rather have a lower interest rate and pay more for the house, or have a higher interest rate and pay less? Many lenders, you know, can work with you. So one of the big things that we're seeing right now is the 2-1 buy down, where you're able to get money to pay down that interest rate for the first 2 years, and then hopefully you can refinance in the next couple of years, next 2 to 3 years, whenever rates come down. So we're seeing that a lot with resale homes. Sellers are offering, I just had some clients who we got that, and basically it's just a seller concession that's in the contract. We included it in our offer to the sellers. You know, my buyers want this money in order to be able to pay down their interest rate, and sellers are aware and listing agents are aware of the market. And so depending on how long the home has been on the market, what their interest has been, if they have any other offers, they may consider contributing towards that buy down. So that really helps in this market. And another great thing that many lenders are offering, free refinances. So that will cover any lender fees. That doesn't cover title fees, so you would still have that when you refinance, but anything helps. So that's definitely something to keep in mind when you're coming into the market as a buyer. I'm gonna share a little bit of the data comparing the metro area of Austin and then also city of Austin, because those do differ a little bit. So for the metro area, the average sold price for 2023 in February was down 11%. Last year, the average sold price was $606,000 compared to this year at $538,000. And then the median sold price for this year was $439,000, which is an 11% decrease from $498,000 last year. Average days on market, like I said before, is 72, which is a 188% increase versus last year at 25 days. Months of inventory is at 4, whereas last year at this time it was 0.6, so less than a month of inventory, which is why it was so competitive and hard to get under contract. And okay, and then if we're looking at just city of Austin, like I mentioned, the closer you are to Austin, central Austin, the stronger the market is there. So for Austin, for the city of Austin, the average sold price was $699,000. That's a 4% decrease versus last year it was $734,000. Median sold price was $557,000. That's a 5% decrease from $588,000. And then average days on market is at 70 days, which is a 180% increase from last year when it was 25 days. So one of the things to keep in mind when you're a buyer, you know, because I did have clients that bought last year when it was really competitive, but when you're going into considering real estate, you don't want to think about it on a 1 to 2 year basis. You want to think about it long term and what your long term goals are, because the average time for buyers to stay in their home is 8 years on average, and that's actually increased. Well, it used to be a lot longer, it decreased, and then recently it increased to 8 years. So you want to be thinking long term. You want to think, okay, you know, am I going to be here 3, 4, 5+ years? Or if maybe I'm not going to stay in this house, but can I rent it out? Like, that's what we did with our first home. We bought in an area that was growing, and it was what we could afford at the time. It wasn't my favorite area. I actually adored the house. I thought it was really cute, but it was a tiny yard, but it fit our needs at the time, and it was a great, I'm so glad that we invested in that house. And there's other houses that I wish we had invested in. I've talked about this in previous videos, but you know, what we did was we lived in that house for a couple years, and then we rented it out for 2 years, and then we ended up selling it, and we made a good amount of money selling it. I wish we hadn't sold it. I mean, it was one of those things, but it felt like the right decision at the time. So no regrets, no regrets. When you're going to invest in real estate, you have to go into it with a long-term mindset, and you're never going to be able to time the market. I mean, last year, I'm always, you know, watching the news and listening to economists and different meetings that are talking about the market. And the economists, they weren't predicting the big drop that we saw, and that it was going to be such an extended period of time in which the inventory increased, the prices decreased. They didn't realize how long the interest rates were going to be elevated. you know, you can do as much research as you want to, but you're never going to be able to perfectly time the market. So I think that the best thing to do is to think about your own personal long-term plans, what you envision when you think about investing in real estate, and then go with that. If you're thinking, oh, I'm just gonna like get in really quick and I'm gonna like make a quick buck, nothing is a get rich quick scheme. You know, it's not a thing. But if you focus on long-term planning and long-term investing, then real estate is a great investment. The 8-year average annual appreciation from February 2016 to February 2023 is 6.6%. So, and that's higher than I typically tell buyers because it has changed over the years. Obviously, in Austin, we saw a huge jump the last several years. You know, we were seeing 30 and 40% increases, and that is not sustainable. Typically, you know, we've seen like 3 to 5% in the Austin area, and you know, that changes year over year. Obviously, there's so many things to invest in, but an asset that you're kind of forced to be paying to as an investment, I think is wise. So what does this all mean? So if you're a seller, things have definitely picked up, but we're still not where we were in 2022, 2021. So don't go into it with the mindset that I have the best house ever and people just need to do what I think. You know what I mean? You need to go in smart with proper pricing, proper marketing, everything to put your best foot forward into the market when you list. If you're a buyer, like I said in the last video, there are still a lot of opportunities for you. There's the 2-1 buy down to get that interest rate down so that your monthly mortgage payment is more comfortable for you. And then you can refinance in a few years. And since inventory has increased to 4 months, there are just way more options to choose from. So I had some clients recently that we went out and we saw a lot of properties, and they found a house that checked off all the boxes that they wanted and some that they didn't even think that they wanted. And we were able to negotiate with the sellers and come to an agreement. You know, we got through with the inspection and everything looked really great with the house. And then actually I just got a call a little while ago from the lender and we made appraisal. So that's so exciting for my buyers, but it also just shows that if you are a seller, you're a listing agent, and if you properly price a house and market it, there are buyers who are willing and able to buy the property. So, you know, if you're a buyer who's been sitting on the sidelines, it's still a great opportunity. Like I said in the last video, builders are offering a ton. I always stay up to date on what the builders are doing, but I got a chance to visit with some recently, and they are offering a lot of great incentives. You know, they're usually paying for the title policy and then providing concessions towards either a buy down or towards closing costs. There's just a lot that they're offering right now in order to get their inventory moving, sold. So, you know, I feel like it's a really great opportunity with not that much competition right now if you are able to jump into the market. And I get emails from builders every day. I get emails from, you know, agents that have resale homes all over the Austin market in various price ranges. And, you know, I'm just seeing some really great deals out there. So if you have been thinking about buying and you're curious, you know, let me know. I would absolutely love to help you. Okay, guys, that is the end of the video. I know this was a lot of information as always when it comes to these market updates, but I appreciate you for sticking it out to the end. If you have any questions, as always, you can leave a comment below. I also have my email in the description. Feel free to drop me a line. And if you're thinking of moving to the Austin area, whether it be in the next 30, 60, 90 days, I am here. I'm happy to help. I would love to connect with you. Drop me a line. Let's do it. Thanks again so much for watching. I hope you'll have a beautiful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay connected with me. And I will see y'all soon in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.